mass reality. Well, it gets really complex when we're doing it worldwide. And the obvious example of what we're doing these days is we're creating this reality of this virus, this pandemic. And all kinds of discussions could be had as to why, and we can't fit them all in here. But the one thing that I want to emphasize is to be on the lookout for anything having to do with being the victim. I'm not going to get too deep into that, and you can all certainly make an argument that there are victims, there are people dying and people being sick, and even people being irresponsible and getting other people sick. But the victim mentality is one that hands the responsibility off to someone else. So if you're spending your days worrying about who started it, what country it came from, is it a control thing, okay? Make sure you're not handing over the responsibility to someone else, because victimhood and responsibility can't really play well together. This doesn't mean you're denying the reality of the sickness. It means that you're not focusing on victimhood, but rather your responsibility to do something about it. And you can see the good areas where we're creating reality during this when you see neighbors helping neighbors from a distance, when you see people, things all of a sudden being available online, where you see people working from home. I lived through the 2001 and 2008, I call them financial crises. Obviously 2001 was much more than just financial, but for a lot of us in business, we weren't getting any work for 6 months. And this is entirely different because now everybody's working at home that can, and business is continuing for a lot of people. I know it's not the same for everybody, but it's interesting that the reality we've created in this time is clearly different than those other two that I mentioned. And you can come up with any other examples. My clients writing to me, even if it's not a business email, maybe it's just the only thing they're saying is, just checking in, how are you doing? I mean, I have a nice relationship with my clients, but we don't ask how about our health, each other's health. I mean, that's new. That's different. That's our collective. I'm sure you've experienced similar things with people giving you a call. So our collective reality and what we're doing with it and taking responsibility and acting on it, it's a very positive thing. And then today, in a minute or two, we're going to get a lot more esoteric about it. Okay. But read the article. I posted it in the group. I posted it on the event page. The victim virus was in the title. I remember the whole title. But read that for more detail about how victimhood and responsibility can't live together. And one last thing about this. I'm trying to be careful how I word this because I want to honor the work that they're doing. But read with discernment, as I often say in these meditations, the posts that are fully focused on disclosure and however that person defines it, because there are many different definitions of it. And where I'm getting at with this is, now that we've talked about victimhood, read to see if they're focusing fully on victims, fully on blaming somebody else, the state, the reptiles, the New World Order, whatever. And I didn't mean to say that mockingly at all. But instead, look for ones that are empowering and show how we can do something about that. Because I think the ones that are more locked into victimhood are going to be the ones that are just recursive. They're just going to keep feeding their own morphogenic field. And if you keep focusing exclusively on something, what's going to happen? You're just going to attract more of it. And even if they're right, one particular faction is right, they're still going to probably be disappointed, if not the entire world is now seeing it on the nightly news exactly the way they said things would happen. Okay, so that was my only thing about that. Be wary now of victim versus taking responsibility. And don't get sucked into someone's worldview, dragged down the vortex. Instead, let's do something more fun with vortexes right now. So, my glasses are coming off. And you guys that have been here before know what that means. Please, close your eyes. Take a couple of either deep breaths or normal breaths, whatever you feel comfortable with. Just kind of relax, because I just threw a lot of words at you. There'll be a few more words coming now. And I am going to... It was a little bit hectic before we got started, so I didn't get a chance to set a timer. Let's see how that one works. Take another breath. Just listen to the music in the background. I want to have you focus your consciousness in the center of your head. What in Chinese studies is called the upper Dantian center. And it can start off small, pea-size, start growing. Just feel the energy starting to spread out from the center of your head. It will eventually encompass your crown chakra, third eye, your throat. You might feel a particular emotion. You might see a particular color or vibration. You might feel a motion of a certain direction, a spin one way or the other, vertical, horizontal, angled, front to back, whatever. Just kind of just feel into the energy of your upper Dantian for now. Now leaving that spinning comfortably. Take your focus down to your chest, middle of your chest. Starting small and growing larger, eventually encompassing your high heart or thymus, your solar plexus below the heart, and of course your heart center itself. Just feel the energy growing in your middle Dantian center. So now you've got energy in the upper and in the middle, and next we're going to go down into the lower Dantian in your belly. And let it start small and start growing larger, your consciousness of it, the energy, the vibration. It'll encompass your hara, or belly, your sacral, and your root chakras. Now we've engaged all three of the Dantian centers. At this point, focus your attention at a distance of your choosing, whatever comes naturally, 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters, whatever feels good to you, whatever first came to your thought when I said a distance. And now with the 3 Dantian centers all active, extend a tendril of energy out from all 3, one at a time or simultaneously, whatever works for you, to the point where they do all come together and meet at that point in the distance that you picked. So you've got 3 tails or tendrils of energy coming out and focusing on this point in front of you. And like with the Dantian centers, we'll start with a small ball of energy. Maybe it grows from a golf ball to a baseball to a softball. For someone who never does sports, I got a lot of metaphors here. To a soccer ball. I'm not sure if a beach ball is technically a sport, but let's make it at least as big as a beach ball. Okay? These are your Dantian centers focusing your energy onto this ball of energy in the front. Now the energies are all mixing and matching in different colors and different directions, and it's a bit of a chaos for the moment. But the longer we pay attention to it, watch it settle down so that it becomes more cohesive. You may not have a spin that's only front and back or only left and right. It may be the entire ball is spinning. You might see energy wrapping around the entire ball, but the chaos subsides a little bit. So you get something that feels comfortable, feels welcoming. And when you're ready, I want you to feel like you're leaving your body and falling or floating or flying toward this vortex that we've just created out of our own energy centers, and just move through it at whatever pace feels good to you. Just float or fly or fall through it. And when you get to the other side, you can stand up or you can continue to float into what very well may be the 5th dimension. What we want here is to be aware of the implicit order out of which the explicit of our 3D reality is created. We've now put ourselves consciously in the place where we always are unconsciously or subconsciously creating our day-to-day living. And now you may be in here alone, but you know all of these other people that are meditating with you and meditating around the world today are essentially, without maybe using the same terms, doing this exact thing. They're coming into this 5th dimension experience, consciously creating what they want the future to look like. And what is that? What's the first thing that came to your mind? And then the second and third. Do you want fairness, kindness, honesty, health, love, joy? I don't want to put words in your mouth. But what first comes to you and where you take it from there may very well be a true reflection on your core values. And that's not a bad thing, because sometimes our core values get all twisted up on the other side of the vortex, whereas in here, we can live them purely. We can feel them fully. And this is how we create the reality, and enough of us doing it with enough commonality now, we can actually shift it a lot faster, for example, than if we did it through legislation or something. Okay? So just feel this. Feel it in the fifth dimension. Some may be comfortable enough from astral traveling and from lots of meditation to take this up to the sixth or seventh dimension, all affecting the lower dimensions below. Now I want you to spend time living here, imagining what those values that you first identified would look like, feeling confident that everything you're dreaming is possible, and remembering that as a species, as a planet, we are agreeing enough that we can recognize the common reality. And by doing this today, you can have faith that you can be responsible, that you can create. So let's just sit for a while, listen to the music. And enjoy this reality. If you find yourself wandering back to 3D, feel free to use the mantra succumb to stay in this meditative state. Succumb. So on the in-breath, hum on the out-breath, or both on every breath, whatever comes comfortable to you. comfortably secure, that you have fully felt all of your core values, and that you've reinforced the kind of reality that you desire, the timeline shift that you want to create. Feel yourself floating back, through the vortex that you created. Feel free to make it comfortable floating on the Delaware River, floating back to this side of the vortex and back into your body, just kind of comfortably coming back into it, like slipping into a pair of pajamas. You might feel yourself snap back into it. You might wiggle your fingers and toes a little bit to welcome your astral body back into your physical body. Might find yourself breathing a little less shallow, a little more normal. And feel that confidence of knowing what you've accomplished today. With all my love, always. Namaste.